Hi everyone and welcome to Master Calculator. In today's video, we're finding equivalent fractions. What is an equivalent fraction? Well, two equivalent fractions are two different fractions that represent the same value. The simplest example of this is 1/2 and 2/4. As you can see on the circle diagram, even though these are two different fractions, they both take up the same space on the circle. Now that we know what equivalent fractions are, how do we find equivalent fractions? So let's take the example 3 over 8. So if we want to find an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 16, how would we find x? Well, the main thing that you need to know is whatever you multiply the top, you have to multiply the bottom too. So what do I mean by that? So to get from 8 to 16, what do you do? 8 times 2 is the only multiplication. 8 times 2 is equal to 16. So we have to do the same thing on the top. 3 times 2, and then x is equal to 6. So 3 over 8 is equal to 6 over 16. Let's try another problem. What is 5 over 4? It doesn't have to be just proper fractions. Equal to, let's try the other way around. 15 over x. Okay, now that x is in the bottom, we have to find 5 times what is equal to 15. 5 times 3 is equal to 15. So we do the same thing on the bottom. What's 4 times 3? Well, x equals 12. So 5 over 4 is equal to 15 over 12. Let's take a look at a few of these practice problems. Number 1, 4 over 6 is equal to x over 24. Pause the video if you want to try it by yourself. Okay, so since the x is on the numerator, we have to look at what multiplies by 6 to get to 24. Well, 6 times 4 is equal to 24, so we do the same thing on top. 4 times 4, and we get x is equal to 16. So 4 over 6 is equal to 16 over 24. Number 2, 7 over 3 is equal to 14 over x. Pause the video once again to try it by yourself. Okay, so x is on the bottom this time, so we have to multiply 7 by something to get to 14. 14 divided by 7, so 7 times 2 is equal to 14. Same thing on the bottom, 3 times 2 is equal to x, which is equal to 6. So 7 over 3 is equal to 14 over 6. Okay, last question. Once again, pause the video if you want to try it by yourself. This one is a little different because instead of multiplying by something to get to the second fraction, we have to divide by something, which is also fine. 15 over 9 is equal to x over 3. So x is on the top, so we have to look at the bottom. As you can see, 9 is bigger than 3, so we can't multiply by anything to get to 3. But what we can do is we can divide by 3. 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. And if we do the same thing on top, 15 divided by 3, x is equal to 5. So 15 over 9 is equal to 5 over 3. Just remember that the operation I did, divide by 3, multiply by 2, and multiply by 4, those can only be division or multiplication. I have one last question. What are 3 fractions that are equal to 1/2? This is a little different from the questions we've been doing before, so pause the video if you want to try it by yourself. Okay, let's solve it. So we have 1/2 written here. So how do we find equivalent fractions to 1/2 without being given numerator or denominator? Well, that actually makes it easier because all we have to do is either multiply or divide, but we can't divide in this case because these numbers are too small. So we multiply by any number and we get equivalent fractions. So for example, I can multiply both top and bottom by 3 and I can get 3 over 6. 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6, and that's an equivalent fraction. I can multiply both sides by 10, top and bottom. 1 times 10 is 10, 2 times 10 is 20. I can even multiply both sides by 250, and I get 1 times 250 is 250, 2 times 250 is 500. 3 over 6, 10 over 20, 250 over 500. These are all fractions that are equal to 1/2. And this will work for any other fraction. All you have to do is multiply or divide both the top and bottom of a fraction by the same value and you'll get an equivalent fraction. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to Master Calculator for more math videos.